Part 40. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 392. The trapped priest cast his magic for the last time, and the afterglow of darkness dissipated. The Bauhinia rushed out of the darkness and was exposed to the fleet of the White Demon Church. Standing on the bow of the Bauhinia was Rudolph. The Bauhinia drew an arc to the right on the sea. Just when the Bauhinia was closest to the level 5 White Demon Priest, Rudolph raised his hand. The level 5 White Demon Priest's attention was still focused on the green skull. The restraint of the level 5 trapped priest on him made him feel uncomfortable. He was the enemy who deserved his attention the most. In his peripheral vision, he saw a little red light. This little red light was so weak and so small that if you didn't pay attention, it would be like someone on the bow of the Bauhinia struck a match and lit a cigarette. A small red light crossed the sea like a laser. This red light was not as majestic as the erosion ray that was as high as a person, but it was extremely sharp. When the level 5 White Demon Priest reacted and turned his head slightly, the red light was already rushing towards his forehead. When the red laser shot unhindered into the sky behind, right, the level 6 priest of the White Demon Church had a bad premonition. He closed his eyes and began to communicate with the Lord of Holy Light. When he opened his eyes again, as if he had severe cataracts, his pupils were illuminated by some light. Lord of Holy Light. Level 5 priest ascends to the kingdom of light. The other priests hurriedly chanted the Holy Light doctrine. Before reaching the North Continent, they lost a level 5 priest. If this priest died at the hands of the Royal Navy, it would be fine. This was a loss that the church could expect and bear. However, this level 5 red priest died at the hands of pirates, which was so unexpected for the White Demon Church. The level 5 White Demon Priest was also the commander of the right-wing fleet. His death caused the entire right-wing fleet to fall into chaos. As the route turned to the right, the 3 pirate ships completely exposed their sides. The pirate ships took the lead and took the initiative. They first poured a round of artillery fire on the church's right-wing fleet. After more than 10 seconds, the ships of the right-wing fleet began to intensively return fire. Shells flew everywhere. The reinforcement arrays of the 3 pirate ships were all level 5, which could withstand a lot of bombardment. The ships of the White Demon Church, except for the flagship, had the most common level 4 reinforcement array on ordinary ships. The cooperation between the Alchemist and the White Demon Church was not as close as it seemed. The level 4 reinforcement array would collapse after being hit by 3 to 5 times due to being overwhelmed. The pirate ship's attack continued. The 3rd pirate ship, the Red Scimitar, came to the closest position to the level 5 White Demon Priest. The artillery could not break the reinforcement array of the right-wing flagship, but the pirate ship had a stronger means of attack. On the high-raised bow of the Red Scimitar, there was a blood mist like thick smoke, which drifted backwards, dragging a long smoke beam. The crisp sound of the knife overwhelmed the sound of the cannons. A knife light constructed by the power of blood killing stood up on the Red Scimitar and slashed fiercely at the right-wing flagship. The evil god Slaughter had been dead for too long, and people had long forgotten that in the War of Gods back then, Slaughter was a battlefield killer that could compete with the knights. In terms of frontal combat ability, the Slaughter priest was second only to the knights. This knife hit the right-wing flagship of the White Demon Church Navy fiercely. The right-wing flagship used its waist to receive this knife, and the heavy steel plate of the flagship was visibly bent. The level 5 reinforcement array on the hull was a dead object, and it could no longer remain intact in front of this knife. Under the strong load, the alchemical copper wires that constituted the array melted one after another, and the high temperature even made the steel of the hull red and soft. In fact, Rudolph can also destroy the level 5 reinforcement array, but the visual effect is average, so it is better to let Redbeard use his iconic blood-killing scimitar. At this moment, the White Demon Church should be very puzzled. They don't know why the big pirates Redbeard and Green Skull, who should have been struggling in the cracks, attack such a big force as the White Demon Church. The severely damaged right-wing flagship ushered in the focus of attention from the pirate ships. Under the continuous artillery fire, the flagship slowly sank in the dark night. On the Bauhinia, Rudolf took off his hat and jumped into the sea. Ivan was very excited on the side. The level 5 White Demon Priest relic was the relic that Rudolf desired most. In the Phoenix Secret, the main relic, the level 5 Zombie relic, was available, and the level 5 Knight relic, one of the secondary relics, was also available. Now only the level 5 White Demon Priest relic was left. With the blessing of the level 4 swimming fish technique, Rudolf turned into a black shadow in the sea water. Next to Rudolf, a group of Pisces wizard corpses gathered. These corpses have been following around the green skull. Underwater is their home ground. After the right-wing flagship sank, a priest struggled in the water. The disadvantages of the White Demon Priests were revealed. Many of the attacks of the White Demon Priests were indiscriminate light attacks. The apostles standing around them, whether enemies or friends, would be affected. Many apostles were unwilling to act with the White Demon Priests. This made the White Demon Church's army relatively monotonous and lacked diversity. At this time, a shipwreck appeared, and the White Demon Church could not produce a strong enough underwater force to avoid greater losses. When the priests on other ships saw the black shadows under the water, they kept shouting nervously and praying to the Lord of Holy Light. Use the light beads to illuminate the sea. On several ships around, the light beads adjusted their angles and used the sunshade to reflect the light of the light beads into beams, shining on the sea around the sunken ship. It's the Pisces wizards. Where do so many Pisces wizards come from? The priests even suspected that the ancient sea wizards had participated in this naval battle. Other enemies were dealt with by the Pisces wizard corps. In Rudolf's eyes, there was only the brightest relic. Relics of different levels will light up with different brightness of starlight. The light of the 5th level relic is one level brighter than the 4th level relic. The 5th level apostle will undergo a qualitative change in ability, and the relic will be brighter. The scepter of the 5th level priest, the light bead on the top of the scepter, was now glowing with blue starlight, which was extremely conspicuous and dazzling, making Rudolf's heart beat. The sea surface was illuminated by the light bead, forming a magnificent Tyndall effect under the sea surface. As the sea water swayed, the light beam shining into the sea water kept flickering and swaying. There will be no accidents. More than a dozen bodies of the Pisces wizards who swam faster have appeared around the scepter. These bodies formed a ring, creating an undercurrent in the water, which carried the scepter and rushed towards Rudolf. This was a two-way rush. Rudolf rushed to the relic he most desired now, and his relic also rushed to its owner. Compared with the silent seabed, the sea surface is extremely lively. The Royal Navy is about to seize the only opportunity to complete the feat of turning defeat into victory. The sinking of the right-wing flagship and the death of the level 5 Red Priest boosted the morale of the Royal Navy. Even the level 6 White Magic Priest had no time to care about it. No one stopped Rudolf anymore. Rudolf was finally going to get the last relic of the Phoenix Secret. Level 5 Knight Relic, Level 5 Zombie Relic, and the last one, the level 5 White Magic Priest relic. When he held the scepter, Rudolf even couldn't control his breathing because of excitement, and a string of bubbles came out of the corners of his mouth. Got it? Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 393. Beside the Bauhinia, a water column suddenly appeared, and it washed a person out of the sea. Rudolf stood on the deck wet, and all the crew members felt Mr. Rudolph's joy. They had never seen Mr. Rudolph laugh so proudly, and it was a joy from the heart. Ivan couldn't help but take the scepter and take a look. With this level 5 relic in hand, Rudolph only had one last ceremony left to become a level 5 wizard. The three pirate ships circled and moved away from the battlefield without stopping. The Dock Manor Clipper following behind stopped after a short distance, and did not follow far away. This was on the battlefield, and Kedrick could not leave the battle. He could only watch the 3 pirate ships leave from afar. A flag signal came from the Bauhinia, "Good luck to your ship." This short flag signal was a common message when the 2 ships parted. The wizard Rudolph took 3 ships, hoisted the golden anchor flag, drew a circle in the naval battle, and sank the right-wing flagship of the White Magic Church with one blow. Without any lingering feelings, the 3 pirate ships left the battlefield, as if they were just sightseeing. The darkness that swallowed the light, the flash of laser, and the incomparable red knife light became the turning point of this naval battle. Kedrick was unable to say more to Rudolph, but he was extremely excited. The golden anchor flags on the 3 pirate ships would not be false, which was Rudolph's support for him. When he was in Dock Manor, he thought he had a very good partner. Now it seems that it is more than very good, and his own father may not be able to do this. From then on, Kedrick not only had Dock Manor, but also several big pirates as his backers. Before the Royal Navy Commander Nahur rushed to the vicinity of the White Magic Fleet flagship, he saw that the enemy flagship began to turn and retreat to the side. The aggressive Royal Navy was at the peak of confidence. The knights could not be allowed to play morale, otherwise the knights would really create miracles on the battlefield. The collapse of the right wing made the White Magic Church unwilling to fight again. Even if they had more ships and their magic could restrain alchemical reinforcement arrays of all levels, it was too late. If they continued to fight, they might be defeated by the Royal Navy's knights who were screaming like animals. Retreat was the most timely way to stop the loss. Kedrick selected a White Magic Church ship and rushed up without hesitation. This clipper was the ship of the former patrol steward Nain. It was transformed by the Earl of Golden Anchor's castle. The twin-cylinder steam turbine drove a small boat, like a big horse pulling a small cart. The speed was extremely fast. Other ships could not catch up with the church ships, but this clipper could. The appearance of the 3 pirate ships cheered Kedrick up. Seeing a level 5 red priest die in front of him and the flagship sinking, the mental fatigue brought by the promotion was swept away. He only felt that his state was so perfect, as if he had taken stimulants. If rewards were given after the war, he, Kedrick, would definitely be the first. The golden anchor flag defeated the right wing of the White Demon Church. There is no greater merit than this. The clipper rushed towards the White Demon Church's ship at a very fast speed. Kedrick stood at the bow, and his full body armor was shrouded in a hazy white light. "Everyone who can come to the deck. Come to the deck to join the battle." The servants heard the arrangement of Master Kedrick, and their eyes became hot instantly. Did the master find an opportunity to be promoted again? This is the noble worth following. In a short time, you can get a second promotion. Several servants rushed back, and except for the helmsman in the engine room and the bridge, everyone came to the deck. Kedrick threw away the knight's javelin and raised the 4th level wizard knight's mace. Holding the thigh of wizard Rudolph, there will be many wizards in the future, but there is only one chance for promotion. It seems that Kedrick wants to use this 4th level wizard as a throwing weapon, just to increase the possibility of promotion. In the fantasy of gaining great military merits after the war, Kedrick's spirit is so excited. The future of a level 3 knight and a level 4 knight is completely different, and a level 4 knight will be more valued. He will use his brilliant military achievements and become the most dazzling knight in this naval battle as a level 4 knight. His fate will be completely changed by this naval battle. The knight's brilliance here on the clipper made Commander Nahur in the center couldn't help but look sideways. Do you know why the Golden Anchor family can maintain several manors in the southern continent? Although my peninsula family is not bad either, it is indeed not as good as the Golden Anchor family in this respect. The Golden Anchor family is full of lunatics. The contemporary Golden Anchor Count Palu dared to lead a lone army to raid behind enemy lines, and he was willing to sacrifice his life for military merit. The 4th son of the Golden Anchor Count, the son without the right of inheritance, dared to have an affair with big pirates like Redbeard and Greenskull in front of the station, and now he dared to be the first to rush into the fleet of the White Demon Church. No one dared to occupy the manor of the Golden Anchor Count, because the lunatics of the Golden Anchor family would use the blood of the enemy to protect their manor. After the war, I want to see the son of Count Palu as soon as possible. Go to a command ship and tell him that I want to see him. The small command ship went to the right wing. This command ship will record Kedrick's military merits in detail. This lucky boy will become a rising star in the Royal Navy. The retreating level 6 White Demon Priest Right was also observing the collapsed right wing. The three powerful pirate ships completely broke the balance between the two sides, causing heavy losses to the navy of the White Demon Church. With the support of the alchemist, the White Demon Church originally thought that they could establish a new parish on the poor land of the Elba royal family and monopolize the faith there, but all this was disrupted by the three pirate ships. The clipper ship has been following the pirate ship, and now the three pirate ships have left. The clipper ship has inherited the pirate ship's indomitable momentum. If the clipper ship penetrates the right wing, the church's right wing fleet will be completely divided and surrounded, and destruction is only a matter of time. For a moment, Kedrick attracted everyone's attention. The clipper was like a spindle-shaped date stone, and it rushed towards a large ship without hesitation. There was a level 4 White Devil Priest on the big ship. The White Devil Priest's light bead emitted a dazzling light. The protective chain behind Kedrick reached its maximum absorption at this moment. The ultimate power coming from the protective chain filled every cell in Kedrick's body. The level 4 witch weapon Night Mace was thrown out by Kedrick like a disposable weapon. The moment the mace was released, the violent extreme power pierced the palm of Kedrick's hand and exceeded the maximum capacity of his body. It was like breaking through the shackles and washing Kedrick's body. Level 6 White Demon Priest Right frowned and turned his head. There was no hope, the right wing would be completely defeated. It seems that it is too reluctant to take over a large diocese on its own, and it still needs the help of other evil churches. The angry right said in a violent voice. Reformulate the plan to return to the northern continent. Suppress the bandits before the plan comes out. Destroy those pirates who are like flies on the ancient sea of Sala. Especially the Green Skull and Red Beard, they must die. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 394. The sea was full of debris, with deck fragments and floating corpses rising and falling. The knights on the sea would at least wear breastplates and helmets, which made it easy for them to sink to the bottom of the sea after death. The White Demon Priests had no such worries, and they floated on the sea after death. White Demon Priests of level 4 and below were only qualified to wear white robes, and the sea was full of priests wearing white robes. The surviving ships of the White Demon Church had fled far away. When they fled, they turned off the light beads, making it difficult to distinguish them. They were not as arrogant as before. To fight against the knights, you must have a crushing force, otherwise the knights will easily explode on the battlefield, just like today. It was obvious that the Royal Navy was getting weaker and weaker, but because of the appearance of the pirate ship, the situation was reversed, and in the end it was the navy of the White Demon Church that suffered heavy losses. Commander Nahur of the East China Sea did not let the team pursue deeply. The second half of the night's charge was the most vulnerable time, and it was easy to run out of strength. He turned around and asked, "Where is Kedrick? I told you to see him first after the battle." "Commander." Master Kedrick of the Golden Anchor family was promoted to a level 4 knight. He was injured during the promotion, half of his shoulder was burned, and he is receiving treatment on the medical ship. The combat regulations require that treatment must be completed as soon as possible after the battle to avoid affecting the next battle, so the herald did not force Kedrick to see the commander. Oh! Promoted to a level 4 knight? The second level 4 knight heir of Count Palu, Commander Nahur was a little surprised. This kid was really unexpected. He then said, "Then I'll go to the medical ship and see him first." "Commander, aren't you going to deal with other things? Go see the noble private army first." Kedrick's clipper does not belong to the Royal Navy, but to the noble private army that came to help after receiving the king's summons. Logically, the commander should deal with the Royal Navy first. Go visit Kedrick first. The Golden Anchor family can mobilize several level 5 apostles. This is a big deal, and it is even more important for the Royal Navy. Nahur, the commander of the East China Sea, who is also the Earl of the Peninsula, was a little emotional. Under the impetus of the war, the Earl of the Golden Anchor took out a trump card, which was 2 big pirates on the ancient Sea of Sarah, which was enough to change the situation in the ancient sea. The flagship went back and gradually approached a white medical ship. This was the medical ship of the East China Sea Fleet, on which there were several level 4 plague vectors. When Commander Nahur stepped onto the medical ship, he explained to the staff officer in advance, "The last visit to the wounded, go to Kedrick's ward first." Amidst the crowd, Nahur entered Kedrick's ward. Kedrick's left shoulder and half of his arm were red like a newborn kitten. The surface burns had just been treated and he was unable to move. "No need to get up, lie down quickly." Nahur saw Kedrick wanted to sit up and hurriedly stopped him. Standing beside the bed, Nahur said, "Kedrick, thank you for your heroic battle, and thank Earl Golden Anchor for inviting several big pirates. Those big pirates unexpectedly broke the balance on the battlefield and defeated the enemy's right wing cleanly. This allowed us to win this naval battle and prevented our rear from being occupied by the White Demon Church. I will present the battle report to His Majesty the King. You should recover from your injuries first. When you recover, thank those big pirates and Earl Golden Anchor on my behalf." Although he looked a little miserable, Kedrick's eyes were extremely sharp. This was the confidence brought to him by the promotion. "Commander Nahur, I have to correct one thing. Those pirates are not friends of the Earl's castle, but my friends." Hearing this, Commander Nahur was a little unbelievable. He slowly sat on the chair and prepared to learn more about the situation. He looked at the young man in front of him in surprise. "Your friend?" "Yes, my friend." Hearing Kedrick's decisive words, Nahur instantly understood why. The first heir of the Earl of Golden Anchor is not the young man in front of him. Kedrick is under 16 years old. He has not been released from the castle and has not been arranged to experience in other families. Rear Admiral Caleb is the heir that the Earl of Golden Anchor focuses on training. That young man is also excellent and outstanding. Now Kedrick emphasizes that those big pirates are his friends. Obviously, he does not want to put the credit on his family, but wants to record it on himself. "When did you make friends with such a big pirate?" "As far as I know, he was an old pirate who roamed the Sarago Sea decades ago. The Green Skull was even a galley, and it was very old. Green Skull and Red Beard are both semi-retired pirates, and it is very rare to see them leave their nests." Kedrick said the prepared words, "Commander, when I was on my way to Dock Manor, I encountered the witch hunt of the ancient Sea Wizard Society. In that naval battle, I met several friends, and my friends introduced me to several big pirates. When I responded to the call of His Majesty the King, I went to find those friends, and they said they would come to help me." Kedrick did not say any extra details, acting as if there was a secret that was inconvenient to reveal. This explanation cannot be said to be all lies, but it cannot be said that there is much truth. "Your friends are very loyal." Nahur sighed, "I will write down this credit, because you invited several big pirates because of your personal friendship." Nahur did not need to confirm whether those pirates were from the Earl of Golden Anchor Castle or Kedrick's people. He would write down that this was what Kedrick said himself. If it was Earl Gold Anchor's friendship, but his son claimed it was his own friendship, that would be good, as it would expose the dispute between Earl Gold Anchor's descendants. Perhaps Earl Gold Anchor would send a statement to correct his son's ignorance. If what Kedrick said was true, that would be even better, as it would be a big favor for Kedrick. You should cultivate yourself, Lieutenant Colonel Kedrick. Kedrick's eyes lit up. The commander promised that he would become a lieutenant colonel. He was a lieutenant colonel right after entering the Navy. This was much better than the lieutenant given by family convention. Sure enough, taking the initiative to strive for more profit than family distribution. Commander, I will recover from my injuries as soon as possible and report to you immediately. I look forward to your arrival. I will give you a 60-gun ship. I hope you can make the Golden Anchor flag more glorious. Yes, Commander. After leaving the room, the commander turned around and whispered to the staff officer, apply for the rank of Lieutenant Colonel for Kedrick, and explain to His Majesty the King that the Golden Anchor family is not a monolithic entity. Kedrick can exert a greater influence on the Golden Anchor family. The nobles are scheming against each other. Nahur treats Palu the same as Palu treats Nahur. There is no need to say much. Everyone has a tacit understanding. Kedrick was secretly excited in the ward. He made the right bet every step. He didn't know why the wizard Rudolph wanted to help him at this time, but he only looked at the result. If the result was in his favor, he would dare to promise anything. Making friends with big pirates was a huge stain for nobles in peacetime, but now, others would only think that Kedrick was outstanding and could subdue many pirates. Kedrick looked out the small round window, feeling somewhat amazed. Why was the wizard Rudolph so powerful? After more than half a year of separation, he could actually get such a great pirate to work for him. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 395. On White Knight Island, the White Devil Church fleet, which suffered heavy losses, entered the port. The believers on Bay Island were extremely shocked. They stood on the dock and couldn't believe the scene in front of them. The Holy Light fleet led by level 6 Great Priest Wright was actually defeated. From the looks of it, it was still a disastrous defeat, with the loss of more than 10 ships. The whole port was quiet, no one dared to speak. Rosa, the port management priest who had a relationship with Rudolph, kept meditating on the teachings of the Lord of Holy Light and was unwilling to accept this fact. Soon, she received the transfer order. She was no longer a port management priest, but became a fleet priest. The Holy Light fleet suffered huge losses and was in urgent need of additional manpower. Level 6 Priest Wright walked towards the Temple of Holy Light with a gloomy face. His pace was so fast that the others had to trot to keep up. Wright's bald head was dirty because he had not been in the mood to take care of it for a long time. It was like tiles that had not been cleaned for a month, gray and different colors. When he came to the entrance of the temple, he found several priests waiting at the entrance of the temple. The Church of Annihilation and the Church of Trouble, two neighbors of the White Devil Church, immediately sent people to White Knight Island. From the looks of it, they arrived just like Bay Island when the Holy Light fleet set off, and it wasn't entirely for the sake of gloating. Wright didn't say much. He more or less guessed what the two were going to do. After entering the temple, Wright motioned for others to leave, leaving only 3 level 6 priests present. After the heavy door behind him closed, level 6 Annihilation Priest Moore spoke first. In order not to attract too much attention from the Northern Continent Trial Hall, we have been sending low-level priests to sneak in secretly. I wonder why the Holy Light Church suddenly dispatched its navy to confront the Elba royal family's royal navy head-on. The 6th level troubled priest Haig on the side did not wait for Wright's explanation and continued to ask, as far as I know, there are complaints in the Elba royal family's fiefdom. It is a good time to preach. The Holy Light Church is so impatient to monopolize a huge diocese that doesn't even care about the gods' promise to help each other. Annihilation Priest Moore continued to question, we are here to inquire about this matter on behalf of our respective churches. The conflict between the gods' religions in the Divine War is one of the important reasons for the failure of the Divine War. We have not experienced a divine war, so we have this impression it's not profound, but the eternal gods have written these contents in the doctrine. Now, is the Holy Light Church ready to abandon other gods and enjoy the faith of a parish alone? What's even more puzzling is that I heard that your Holy Light Church has the deepest cooperation with alchemists, but I didn't expect that they were completely defeated in the naval battle. Blasphemers like alchemists are the most cunning and treacherous. Alchemists have written monographs proving that God doesn't exist. Does being deceived by a blasphemer bring shame to the Lord of Light? Enough. Behind the portrait of the Lord of Holy Light, the red sun suddenly bloomed. In the consuming light, both Oblivion Priest Moore and Trapped Priest Hague felt uncomfortable. The two of them shut up and said no more. After all, this was the temple of the Holy Light Church. Wright first looked at Annihilation Priest Moore. In this naval battle, a surprise troop appeared in Elba's Royal Navy, and that troop was hoisted with the Golden Anchor flag. In the parish of your Oblivion Church, there are 2 Earls of the Golden Anchor. Manor, why don't you clean it up? Annihilation Priest Moore frowned, wondering what happened to him. Several expeditions to the northern continent destroyed all the parishes along the coast. We all know that operating the coastal areas has little value, and it will inevitably be destroyed in the future. We have the manor of the nobles of the northern continent. Your Holy Light Church is gone. In the governance of the major churches, the North Coast is in a semi-abandoned state. The reasons are very complicated. First, the ambitious divine knights or alchemists in the northern continent will always organize expeditions to prove their strength. Second, retaining these forces in the northern continent will help the churches to add sand to the northern continent. Many low-level and astute priests followed these manor owners to the northern continent. For the Annihilation Church, Earl Golden Anchor Castle is their bridgehead. Earl Golden Anchor Castle has an unclear connection with the Annihilation Church. The low-level priests of the Annihilation Church are transferred to the northern continent in batches through Earl Golden Anchor Castle. This line is very hidden. In order to protect this line, the Church of Annihilation would have some disputes or even bloody battles with Doc Manor every few years. Wright didn't say anything more. He turned to the trapped priest Hague again, and you guys, the person who attacked us this time was a level 5 trapped priest. What reason do you have to refute? Of course, the trapped priest Hague denied it. It is impossible for every priest to betray the god of craftsmen. You are all priests, how could the priests betray the god? The name of the evil god trapped is the god of craftsmen. The trapped priests are all good at making torture instruments, and they call themselves the god of craftsmen who distinguishes humans from beasts. Hague continued, don't think that we don't know anything. The one who attacked you was the former great pirate Green Skeleton. He is a level 5 corpse from the past, and he controls the corpse of one of our deceased great priests. Don't put the blame for your naval defeat on the Craftsman Church. Why didn't you recover the body of the great priest earlier? Why did you let such an important body wander outside? If it weren't for the dark prison that trapped the priest's body, the 5th level priest of the White Devil Church wouldn't have been restrained so severely. The 3 priests stopped talking and fell into silence. In a short period of time, the 3 people couldn't produce any results at all. After a long time, a dazzling light suddenly lit up on the statue of the Lord of Holy Light, and the sunlight-like light illuminated every corner of the temple. The 3 priests hurriedly bowed their heads. Even the trapped priest and the annihilated priest looked respectful. Not long after, the white demon priest Wright communicated with the holy image, and the light of the holy image gradually dissipated. Wright turned his head and said to the other 2 priests, the Lord of Holy Light has sent down the oracle. The other 2 priests bowed their heads and listened, and their previous attitude of accountability completely disappeared. The war in the northern continent is endless. This is our opportunity for the Pantheon. Returning to the northern continent and preventing the emergence of the second Night Emperor is our first priority. Carolingian 16 must be killed, the Elba royal family must be weakened, and the emergence of the second Night Emperor must not be allowed. Rebuild the pantheon in the northern continent and wait for the natural death of the aging Emperor Megwen. When the sun shines on the northern continent, the gods will become the common masters of the northern and southern continents. The three priests chanted the name of the Lord one after another, and their hearts were surging. White Demon Priest Right continued. Before returning to the northern continent, we must first clean up the Sarago Sea. No bandits who disobey the gods are allowed to appear on the Sarago Sea, and no third-party forces that interfere with our northward advance are allowed to appear. All this starts with the emergence of Redbeard and Green Skull. One of the seven gods, the great Lord of Holy Light, sent down an oracle, and they will resolutely execute every word of the oracle. After leaving the temple hall, and Hagar said, I believe that cleaning up the Sarago Sea is the will of God, but did Redbeard and Green Skull add them himself? Who knows? These details are not important. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 396. Rudolph and other crew members told him that Redbeard Island should be entrusted to Kedrick and let the Royal Navy take care of Redbeard Island. They can sail with confidence to the place Rudolph wants to go most, the volcanic island of Rombolus and the Phoenix Secret. The direct point of Phoenix. For the Royal Navy of Elba, this is a very precious offshore deep water port. They will cherish Redbeard Island more than Rudolph. Mr. Rudolph. 3 unidentified ships were discovered in the northeast. Pilot, now the captain of the Red Bud, hurried to the lower cabin and told Rudolph an emergency. Now in the rush stage, all the living people are on the Red Bud, and Cooper is also in Rudolph's office. Unidentified ship? How unknown is it? Mr. Rudolph, how long has it been before you still have the heart to joke? If I'm not mistaken, it's the flagship of the White Demon Fleet. Flagship? The flagship is not scary either. As long as there is no level 6 priest, it is nothing to us. Here's the problem. If I'm not mistaken, the person standing at the bow of the ship is the level 6 White Demon Priest from the naval battle some time ago. Rudolph could no longer sit still and stood up. Pellet, can't you just get to the point? Since Pilot withstood Redbeard's torture and proved his character, he became very relaxed in front of Rudolph and Cooper. He was one of their own, and Rudolph and Cooper trusted him very much. At this time, Pilot didn't care whether he respected Rudolph and Cooper or not, and hurriedly turned around and ran to the bridge. There was a level 5 fisheye in the bridge. Rudolph and his group also hurriedly entered the bridge room. They gathered nervously around the fish tank containing the eye of the sea fish. Pilot was burying his face in the water of the fish tank. 1 minute, this minute became very long. There was only the clicking sound of instruments in the bridge, and everyone was silent. Pilot raised his head, and the sound of water broke the silence of the bridge room. How is it? Is he a level 6 White Demon Priest? Pilot didn't even realize who was asking him, so he wiped the seawater from his face. Bad news, that person is indeed a level 6 White Devil Priest. Rudolph and Cooper looked at each other, somewhat unwilling to accept this fact. They dared to attack the navy of the White Devil Church because the Royal Navy was blocking them from the front, and the level 6 White Devil Priest had no time to deal with them. Isn't it just killing one of their level 5 priests? Isn't that what it is? Hearing Rudolph's shameless remarks, Cooper refuted him, of course, as if someone killed the captain of one of our 3 ships. Are you angry? It's not comparable. They have so many priests, but I only have 3 captains. Cooper asked Pilot again, we know the bad news, but what about the good news? Pilot was extremely confused. Good news? As usual, doesn't bad news always come with good news? It's not bad news and good news, it's bad news and worse news. Is there anything worse than this? A level 6 evil god priest is chasing us, isn't it bad enough? Pilot said with a dejected face, there is really worse bad news than this. In fact, I found that there are 2 fleet of ships in pursuit. Another fleet of ships are at 8 o'clock to the southwest of us. It is a fleet of the Oblivion Church. It is also 3 ships. There is also an evil priest wearing a red robe standing on the bow. From the shape of the red robe. Look, it's a level 6 annihilation priest. Look again, look carefully, this is no joke, it will scare people to death. Let Rudolph fight against the level 5 master and apprentice. Rudolph still has some ideas. In front of the level 6 master and apprentice, Cooper can still protect himself. Rudolph can only self-destruct. The only difference is that he will die sooner or later. Pilot took a deep breath, buried his head in the fish tank again, and looked into the eyes of the fish in the fish tank. When Pilot came out of the fish tank again, Rudolph quickly asked, "Did you look carefully? Are they 2 level 6 priests? I made a mistake. They were not 2 level 6 priests." Rudolph breathed a sigh of relief, and his chest shrank a lot due to the long exhalation. "Let me tell you, how could there be 2 level 6 priests coming to hunt witches? How could I have such a big reputation?" "Pilot, you are so stupid, what's that look?" Pilot's face was full of despair, and he looked at Rudolph and Cooper with sympathetic eyes. "It's not 2 level 6 priests, it's 3. Pilot's look seemed to be saying, "What are you two going to do? You are so heinous that you will definitely be ripped apart by the evil god." He also explained carefully, in the direction of 1 o'clock in the northeast, there is also a formation of 3 ships, 3 ships of the distressed church, and the leader is also a level 6 priest. The red robe of the level 6 priest and 5 the super priests are different, I won't admit it. In the past, these level 5 or even level 6 red-clothed priests were something that a level 3 apostle like Pilate would never see in his life. But now, there are 3 level 6 red-clothed priests chasing after them. Quick, quick, quick. Run away. Northeast, northwest, southwest, let's escape to the southeast. Rudolph came to the chart, all luck disappeared, and he drew a circle on the map. Lomboli Volcanic Island. This is our destination. Believe me, as long as we get to Lomboli Volcanic Island, 3 level 6 priests are nothing. Seeing Rudolph's unusually serious look, the entire Bauhinia ship instantly became nervous. They have been drifting on the sea for more than half a year. Rudolph has established his own prestige. He has proved his ability by making correct choices, escaping dangers, and defeating powerful enemies. Since Rudolph said that going to Lomboli Volcanic Island can solve the problem, then it will definitely solve the problem. After being angry, Rudolph calmed down and closed his eyes to think. After a while of silence, he became even angrier. 3 level 6 priests, Rudolph swore that he had never cursed the evil god. Why was he targeted by the evil god priests like this? It was too bullying. Don't let him become a level 5 wizard. Once he becomes a phoenix wizard, Rudolph will let them know that clay people still have 3 points of anger. He focused his attention on the star map in his mind. The relic of the level 5 white magic priest obtained last month, the scepter turned into a meteor and hit the Gemini Epsilon star, and the progress of Gemini came to 7/17. Among the 3 suspended stars falling from Gemini, Rudolph chose the Nantian-Tiantan constellation secret style. /U003 Secret of the Temple of Heaven in the South Heaven. Astrological map, Temple of Heaven hexagram. Main relic, level 5 Silver Snake relic. Secondary relic, level 5 Blood Clan relic, level 5 White Magic Priest relic. Ritual location, the direct area of the Temple of Heaven, the Shipwreck Sea. /U003E. The pattern of the Temple of Heaven is an altar burning with holy fire. This altar is also called the Oath Altar. This altar will witness the oath of everyone, and no one shall violate it. The main relic is the Silver Snake relic, which proves that the wizard of the Temple of Heaven may have some mental control ability and can force others to keep their oaths from a certain rule level. Very interesting ability, very useful constellation ability. Rudolph was a little melancholy. The speed of his strength growth could not keep up with the speed of secret collection. Rudolph had a mountain of gold, but lacked a hoe, so he could only look at the gold mountain in the distance. He was eager to become a level 5 wizard and complete the qualitative change of the wizard's road. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 397. Mr. Rudolph. Our 3 ships have different speeds. Among the 3 ships, the fastest is the Bauhinia, whose steam turbine technology is very new and brings great power. The second fastest is the Green Skull, which can catch up with it as long as it paddles fast. The slowest is the Red Scimitar, an old ship that lacks maintenance and uses several generations of steam turbines. Don't wait, give up the slowest Red Scimitar. The crew and corpses on the Red Scimitar rowed away in small boats, and the Pisces Wizard Corps created an undercurrent that sent the boat to the Green Skull. The Red Scimitar, a single-cylinder steam turbine ship built more than 20 years ago, moved forward under the action of inertia, but unfortunately its speed became slower and slower, and finally stopped at sea. In the hands of Red Beard, the Red Scimitar was once a powerful ship, but her era had passed, her final mission was completed, and she was abandoned on the sea by her owner. The crew stood on the deck and took off their hats to salute the Red Scimitar. This was a farewell and a thank you. Every ship deserves the respect of the crew. The sea ship provides work for the crew and feeds batches of crew. The abandoned Red Scimitar stopped at its original position. After a long time, pilot saw in the eye of the sea fish that a fierce beam of light came from a very far distance and hit the Red Scimitar. The remaining alchemical reinforcement array did not last long. The angry attack of the 6th level White Demon Priest destroyed the 5th level reinforcement array in just a few seconds. After a while, after the priests confirmed that the ship was not a trap, the church's ship approached the Red Scimitar. A black vortex appeared on the side of the Red Scimitar. The black vortex moved slowly and swallowed half of the ship like a black hole. The cross-section of the ship was revealed, and the 3-story cabin planks were exposed. The incomplete ship slowly sank and finally sank completely to the bottom of the sea. Right, the 6th level White Demon Priest, was a little puzzled. One of their targets, the Red Scimitar ship, was so easily sunk. But there was no one on the ship, and he didn't know where the enemy was going. Cooper, who learned the ending of the Red Scimitar, felt very lucky. Fortunately, he gave up the ship, otherwise he would have lost a large number of important collections. In the bridge of the Bauhinia, pilot kept reporting the location of the 3 teams of evil god ships. The trapped priests call their evil gods the god of craftsmen. They are good at imitating the steam turbines of alchemists. Too fast. The ship of the trapped church is approaching quickly. 9 nautical miles. 8 nautical miles. 7 nautical miles. Pilot's tone became more and more urgent, which made the people in the bridge soar in adrenaline, but they were powerless. Others looked at Rudolph and Cooper, hoping that the two could come up with an idea. Yvonne stood beside Rudolph. They were always chased and hunted by people. She looked at Rudolph, who had his eyes downcast and was anxiously thinking about countermeasures. Cooper spoke first: "Throw away everything that can be thrown away, and only take supplies that can reach Longboli Volcanic Island. I will only keep level 5 and level 4 apostles in my collection, and throw the rest into the sea and pick them up later." Rudolph nodded, and then said, "Mackenzie, take people to transform the Bauhinia now. Take the oars from the Green Skull to this ship, so that the Bauhinia can also use oars, and do everything possible to increase our speed." "What about the Green Skull?" Mackenzie asked an unnecessary question, but got no response. He shook his head and left the bridge room, and hurried to implement Rudolph's order. A few days ago, he was still the captain of the Green Skull. He didn't expect to see his ship sink with his own eyes. He thought that the green skull could create glory again in his hands. This feeling is very bad, but in order to survive, this is the only way. In the lower cabin, Mackenzie directed the corpse to cut round holes on the outer wall of the hull. A seat would be fixed behind each round hole to facilitate the oarsmen to row. There were sounds of people falling into the water outside. That was Mr. Cooper abandoning his collection, and the crew members were also throwing away useless things. They were very fast. It took them more than 10 minutes to punch 50 round holes in the hull. The oars on the green skull were thrown into the sea. In the undercurrent created by the Pisces wizard, the oars came to the vicinity of the Bauhinia, and were sent into the round holes by the surging water column. 50 night corpses were waiting in the cabin. After getting the oars, they began to row hard. Cooper didn't want to add drama to them now, otherwise they would have to shout slogans and look enthusiastic. The green skull stayed in place, moving slowly with the sea. This rare wooden boat, a highly recognizable paddle boat, is about to usher in her last moments. Rudolph, Cooper, and Yvonne did not grow up on the sea, so they did not have a deep affection for ships. The other seamen, led by Mackenzie, mourned for the green skull in the distance. Not long after, the ships of the evil god church came to the side of the green skull. This time, they acted quickly and sank the green skull quickly. The green skull, once a romantic drama ship, was a corpse transport ship that only allowed one living person on the entire ship. It ended its mission and sank forever on the seabed. The white demon priest Wright was even more puzzled. They came to kill the big pirates Redbeard and Green Skull. Why did these two people abandon their most important sea ship? After the Green Skull sank, the Bauhinia sailed forward at an even more exaggerated speed. The distance is 3 nautical miles. Stable at 3 nautical miles. The ship of the trapped church is no longer shortening the distance. The distance between us is slowly increasing, and our speed has gained an advantage. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and the temporary threat disappeared. Mr. Rudolph. The evil god's fleet is out of touch. The ship of the trapped church is the fastest. The ships of the White Devil and the Oblivion Church are getting farther and farther away from the trapped church. Can we counterattack? Pilot became more and more excited. After the speed of the Bauhinia increased, he felt that he was good again. Counterattack, Rudolph said unhappily. Is the wine on the ship expired? How much fake rum did you drink? Rudolph stood beside the sea chart, looking at the location of the Longboli volcanic island, stunned. Yvonne came to comfort Rudolph. It's okay, the ships of the Kundan church can't catch up, let alone the ships of other churches. Rudolph shook his head and sighed. The evil god church has an incomparable advantage, that is, they can communicate instantly. With the help of the evil god, what happened here can be easily known to the priests in other places. Wait and see how much we are hated. I wonder if the evil god church is willing to use the temple to notify each other and send people to chase us on the road. Mackenzie, which church does the land beside the sea area belong to? The land here is the scorching sun desert of the White Demon Church. Mackenzie didn't know if Rudolph was a jinx. Half an hour later, the fleet of the evil god church not only failed to catch up, but the distance was getting farther and farther. The nearest fleet of the Kundan church was already 12 nautical miles away from the Bauhinia. Another hour later, Pilot suddenly shouted, a new fleet of the White Demon Church appeared at 6 o'clock. The leader is a level 5 White Demon priest. No one praised Rudolph for his accurate prediction. They all lamented in their hearts that this time they really offended the evil god church. The church actually used the temple for instant communication and vowed to hunt them down. Don't panic. 10 nautical miles is a very long distance. If it is converted to 18 kilometers on land, it is enough for us to avoid all the chasing ships in advance. Thanks to the level 5 swordfish wizard SWO. If it weren't for his level 5 sea fish eye, Rudolph would have no way out now. In the bridge, Mackenzie was constantly adjusting the route of the Bauhinia according to the local fleet position reported by pilot. After 2 days of chasing, everyone was exhausted. The people in the bridge worked in shifts and did not dare to rest at all. Everyone had big dark circles under their eyes. Cooper's body can generate the power of the apostles, but they will only execute orders if Cooper gives them orders. Cooper has not slept for 2 days, and the green ghost fire in his skull has become much weaker. Behind the Bauhinia, more than 30 ships have followed, and the number of ships is still increasing. They are like poking the nest of evil gods. Those famous blasphemers in history may not be treated as well as the Bauhinia now. Mr. Rudolph. The volcanic island of Longboli is ahead. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 398. Go. Don't stop. Go straight to the reef. After hearing Rudolph's order, Mackenzie hesitated for the first time and did not execute it immediately. Out of the crew's first instinct, Mackenzie was reluctant to let the Bauhinia rush directly to the stone shore, but after a second, Mackenzie hurriedly turned the joystick and asked the engine room to turn the steam turbine to the maximum power. Cooper's zombies also tried their best to shake the oars, and at a certain moment, the oars almost bent to the limit. Rudolph was right. Now there is no time to go around Longboli volcanic island, no time to find a suitable place to land, and no time to consider whether there is a place to anchor the ship. Closing your eyes and rushing directly to the shore is the best way to buy time. As for the Bauhinia, 30 ships of the evil god church were also heading towards the Longboli volcanic island. The level 6 white demon priest was a little surprised. Are they going to rush directly to the reef? Are they going to abandon that ship? But on second thought, if they switched positions, Wright would not care whether a ship would be destroyed. But what is on that volcanic island? Why do they rush to that volcanic island at all costs? The Phoenix Code is top secret, and the White Demon Church does not know the content of the Phoenix Code, and does not know what the value of Longboli volcanic island is. At this time, everyone on the Bauhinia fell into silence. Obviously, the speed was so fast, almost reaching the peak that the Bauhinia could reach, but the air seemed to solidify. For more than half a year, 10 months, this ship has been with them for 10 months. 10 months ago, in the port of Kotter, they first saw the Carolingian warship that was still under repair. Later, they named the ship the Bauhinia and began to cross the Sarago Sea. This ship accompanied them through many dangers, and now, they will personally send this ship to the grave. For a ship, being stranded means death, and the coast is her grave. Cooper whispered, "Bauhinia, this is my ship. You will still be the captain of the next ship." Cooper sighed, "For the next ship, I hope to change the name of the ship. This ship will always exist in our memory as Bauhinia." Rudolph was also very sad. This was his biggest fixed asset, but now he had to destroy it with his own hands. This was also half of his home after he left Lehman Town, and now this half of his home is gone. In the center of the Longboli volcanic island is an active volcano as high as 1,000 meters. A height of 1,000 meters is nothing in those large mountains. There is a flat sea around here, which makes this active volcano unusually tall. Since records began, the crater of this volcanic island has been spewing billowing black smoke. The Longboli volcanic island erupts once every 10 years on average, and the interval between eruptions is not fixed. Every eruption will cover the entire island with a thick layer of magma. The volcano is black, and the reefs on the seashore are also black. No plants can survive here. The top of the mountain is a circular crater. The last eruption left a gap in the crater. Orange-red hot magma is constantly flowing out of the gap. The magma slowly flows along the hillside, and finally solidifies and hardens halfway up the mountain, turning into black rock. The Bauhinia is like an egg hitting a rock, vulnerable in front of the Longboli volcanic island. With huge inertia, the Bauhinia rushed to the rocks on the shore. There is no sand on the shore, only hard and sharp rocks. Get ready to go ashore. Hold on and don't fall. Mackenzie shouted with a loudspeaker, asking people to prepare for stranding. The bottom of the ship, wrapped in iron sheets, suddenly rushed to the coast. The reef and the bottom of the ship collided first and then rubbed against each other. The heavy hull pressed the iron skin, which was fragile in front of the rocks. The iron skin was torn, revealing the wooden planks inside. The wooden planks were not as good as the iron sheets, and were also torn in a fragile groan. The entire bow was broken, and the iron and wood fragments were left on the ground. The hull was still moving forward, and the bottom of the ship rubbed against the reefs on the shore. The entire bottom of the ship was uncovered, revealing the cabin. The walls and pillars of the cabin were also damaged by the reefs. The heavy steam turbine sank into the ground, slower than the forward speed of the hull, and hit the rear wall of the engine room. This collision tore the entire hull apart. The deck of the Bauhinia was also broken, and a half-meter wide crack appeared in the middle. The poor Bauhinia became a ruin. The alchemical reinforcement array on the ship was closed in advance, and the stranded ship could no longer enter the sea. There was no heavy crane here. Without extra sadness, everyone and the corpse ran to the sea burial island. The Bauhinia can buy time by self-destruction at any cost, but the Church of the Evil God cannot. These ships belong to the Church, not to a certain priest. There is no private ownership in the Church, and everything belongs only to the great evil God. First surround the volcanic island, and then find a place to go ashore. Wright looked at the strange rocks all over the volcanic island and felt a little irritated. The rocks were big and small, and the pirates were running around in the rocks. The beam attack of the white demon priest could not reach the pirates. Dozens of ships spread out and surrounded the volcanic island, and the evil god priests began to look for a landing place. The annihilation priest also mastered a lot of magic about water. They found a protruding part of the volcanic island, and after simple processing, they made a simple pier. Led by the level 5 priest, the priests climbed to the volcanic island. They will drive the pirates together, and then wait for the level 6 priest to take action. The robes of priests at level 4 and below are in the representative colors of the church: white for the White Demon Church, black for the Troubled Church, and dark blue for the Oblivion Church. Each sect sent out 3 or 2 level 5 priests, who wore red clothes, and the decorative lines on the collar and cuffs were also the colors of their respective churches. White, black, blue, different priest teams climbed up to the volcanic island. During the time when the priests landed, the two sides had fallen behind by half an hour. Cooper, you will command and organize, try to hide, try to escape, and delay until I complete the ceremony. Rudolph said nothing more, left the team, and quickly fled to the top of the mountain. Others will find a suitable terrain to hide and delay. More than 1,000 meters high, Rudolph's body has been strengthened several times, and it takes at least 2 hours to climb to the top. And 2 hours later, the sky will be completely dark and usher in the night. The surrounding temperature did not decrease with the increase in altitude. The hot air was full of the smell of sulfur. The ground under my feet also became hot. It was obviously black stone, but it was steaming black hot air. The soles of the leather shoes kept contacting the black stones, making an unpleasant sound. The soles were melting and sticking to the stones. When Rudolph reached the top of the mountain, he saw the full view of the crater. Inside the crater was a pool of boiling magma. The magma was bubbling like boiling water. Occasionally, rocks that fell into the magma pool became combustibles, and after burning, thick black smoke drifted out. The scorching air waves hit people's faces, making people feel that their eyebrows and eyelashes were burned by fire. Rudolph picked a boulder, stood in the center of the boulder, and turned around to draw the phoenix hexagram. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 399. Standing on the top of the Longboli volcanic island, Rudolph looked down the mountain. The ships of the evil god church surrounded the island, and it was impossible to break through. He didn't even dare to appear in front of the level 6 priest. Rudolph has been tossed up to now, and he is only a level 4 wizard. In front of the level 5 apostle, Rudolph still has some means to save his life, but in front of the level 6 apostle, Rudolph is a little different from a wizard apprentice, but the difference is not big. When facing power or violence, the lower level people are always so weak. The 3 level 6 priests who followed over are people who can decide the fate of hundreds of thousands of people in their dioceses with a word, and they are also well-known big figures in the southern continent. Rudolph urgently needs to be promoted so that he can have a chance to express his attitude, otherwise he will not be able to speak in front of the level 6 priest, and he will die miserably. The magma pool behind him exudes heat, burning Rudolph's back. Rudolph finally came to the Longboli volcanic island. He has gathered all the conditions for the level 5 Phoenix secret. Taking out a starstone, Rudolph drew the Phoenix hexagram on the ground, which is the first condition of the Phoenix constellation secret. The hexagram is much more complex than the previous astrological triangle, and it can attract and contain more star power. The outer periphery of the Phoenix hexagram is a hexagon, and inside it are 3 complex circle-shaped patterns. There are also some mysterious filling symbols between the hexagon and the circle. After drawing the Phoenix hexagram, Rudolph looked down the mountain. The level 5 priest had led the team to fight with Cooper's corpse. The battle on the front line was not smooth, and the corpse was damaged a lot. In addition to the Ares wizard, the white demon priest also has a certain restraint on the zombies. The apostle's corpse was exposed to the erosion ray, and the apostle's power in the body dissipated, and the zombie's control would soon be deprived. As long as the corpse is destroyed at this opportunity, the zombie will permanently lose a collection. Cooper himself cannot die, and he threw many corpses into the sea along the way, and these corpses can become tools for his resurrection. But Ivan and other crew members behind him are gradually shrouded in danger. Trapped on this isolated island, they have no means of escape. Rudolph lowered his head and concentrated on his ritual, and he must complete the promotion as soon as possible. /U003 Southern Phoenix Secret. Star Chart Phoenix Hexagram. Main Relic Level 5 Zombie Relic. Secondary Relic Level 5 Night Relic, Level 5 White Demon Priest Relic. Ritual Location Phoenix Direct Shot Area, Longboli Volcano Island. /U003E. It was shortly after nightfall, and Rudolph looked up at the starry sky. Above his head was the star field of Phoenix. When the star map was drawn, the many bright stars of Phoenix formed a flying phoenix. This was a star power phoenix that only wizards could see, and other apostles could not see it. The phoenix was looming behind the thick smoke, and Rudolph lowered his head and looked at the 3 rings in the Phoenix hexagram. The main relic, the level 5 zombie skeleton, appeared in Rudolph's hand. This was a relic obtained from the green skull, and this relic was placed in the middle ring. The first secondary relic, the level 5 knight's spear, is a relic from the housekeeper of Nain, and was placed by Rudolph in the circle on the left. The second secondary relic, the level 5 white demon priest's scepter, comes from the naval battle that ended not long ago, and was placed by Rudolph in the circle on the right. This ceremony brings together 3 level 5 relics. The completion of each southern constellation secret represents the fall of 3 level 5 apostles. How can such precious relics not give birth to powerful wizards? The 3 strongest constellations in the south sky are Phoenix, Southern Cross and Southern Ship. Rudolph is about to become one of the strongest wizards in the south sky. Each of the 3 relics of the Phoenix secret is not simple. There are very few level 5 zombies, and the relics are also extremely rare. Rudolph is lucky to have the forbidden technique of Ares pupil fire, otherwise it would take a whole army to fight against the zombies. A level 5 knight can burst out the combat power of a level 6 apostle. Nain was picked up by Rudolph when his promotion was not stable. Under normal circumstances, a level 6 apostle would have to sweat when challenging a level 5 knight, not to mention that Rudolph was only a level 4 wizard at that time. The only thing that held him back was the white demon priest relic, which looked much more ordinary in front of the previous two relics. Not good. Level 6 white demon priest right suddenly looked at the starry sky. The power of the white demon priest came from the evil god white demon, from the Lord of Holy Light, and the Lord of Holy Light called himself the Eternal Sunday. Although the Lord of Holy Light lived in the human world, his goal was to become the real Sunday. Right prayed devoutly to the sky every day, praying that the Lord of Holy Light could be promoted to the sun as soon as possible. He had studied the power that also came from the sky, the planetary prophecy power of the word spirit and the star power of the wizard. At this time, he could not see or sense it, but the magic weapon on his body that specialized in studying star power told him that the starry sky had undergone tremendous changes. A long and two short signal lights lit up on Wright's flagship, prompting the other two level 6 priests to speed up their actions. The level 6 priests on the three flagships went ashore at the same time and rushed to the top of the mountain. Seeing the level 6 priests leaving the ship in a crowd, Rudolph also accelerated his actions. After placing the three relics, Rudolph looked up and looked at the star field of Phoenix. Star power poured into the three level 5 relics, and blue starlight appeared on the three level 5 relics. At the moment when the relics appeared starlight, all the bright stars in the star field of Phoenix suddenly shone. This was Rudolph's first contact with the star power of the southern sky constellation. In the past, he had only contacted the star power of the 12 zodiac constellations. Those star powers were universal star powers that every wizard could receive, but the star power of the southern sky constellation, each of which had a strong personality, and each was so different. Unlike the star power of the 12 constellations, which fell quickly or slowly, the moment the star power of Phoenix appeared in the starry sky, the star power of Phoenix also appeared in Rudolph's body. This star power was not attached to a certain part of the body, but appeared directly in Rudolph's soul. The soul has no specific location. No matter how he focused his attention, Rudolph could not feel where the soul was, as if the soul did not exist in this dimension, but had a strong connection with Rudolph. For the first time, Rudolph's soul had temperature, and a heat from the depths of his soul instantly made Rudolph's vision ablaze. At the same time, the green ghost fire ignited on the level 5 relic zombie skeleton. The will-o'-the-wisp erupted from the 7 orifices of the skull, covering the entire skull. In a flash, the skull was burned to ashes, and the green will-o'-the-wisp shot towards Rudolph's 7 orifices. Rudolph's 7 orifices absorbed the green will-o'-the-wisp, and after these will-o'-the-wisp entered Rudolph's body, they also disappeared, absorbed by Rudolph's soul that could not find its position, and disappeared in this plane. Green will-o'-the-wisp is the core ability of a level 5 zombie, which allows zombies to revive on different corpses, representing the end of the previous body and the deception of death. After death, dust returns to dust, but new life can also be born in dust. The star power of Phoenix washed the green will-o'-the-wisp, and in a flash, Rudolph's 7 orifices began to spit out flames, but the flames were golden. The golden flames completely wrapped Rudolph's head, gathered at the top of his head, forming the shape of a phoenix head, and the sharp phoenix beak rushed out of the flames, and then the phoenix beak suddenly went down, pecking at Rudolph's soul, and began to transform Rudolph's soul. In the agony of his soul, Rudolph heard the song of the phoenix, and the song conveyed the motto of the phoenix. \U003CTHE Phoenix wandering between life and death. Cheating death, avoiding the silence of death. Playing with life, bidding farewell to the hope of life. The inseparable twins of life and death. The fire of the phoenix is the phoenix. \U003E. Listening to the motto, Rudolph was a little panicked. No one told him whether the phoenix had any side effects. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 400. The first step to cheat death is to transform the soul. With golden phoenix fire spraying from his eyes, Rudolph's vision was shrouded in gold and became blurred. He felt that his eyeball seemed to be expanding, and the eye socket and eyelids could not cover the enlarged eyeball, leaving the eyeball hanging outside. Fearing that the eyeball would fall out first, Rudolph instinctively reached out and wanted to press the eyeball back, but found that his finger had passed through the eyeball. It turned out that this eyeball was not his eyeball, but a translucent eyeball made of golden phoenix fire. His perspective became very strange, and he saw the sharp beak growing in front of him again. That was not his nose, but the sharp beak of the phoenix. In other words, his perspective switched from himself to the phoenix. The phoenix completely enveloped Rudolph's head, and his consciousness left his body and came to the head of the phoenix. What made him feel amazing was that his body was still under his control, and the burning heat of the crater behind him was very clear, but his soul clearly left his body. Rudolph put his hand on his closed eyelids. He could feel his eyelashes and eyebrows, but his vision was getting higher and higher, as the phoenix burned higher and higher. In the black night, a bright light appeared on the top of the volcano, a golden light. In the eyes of others, it was a golden flame, but in Cooper's perception, the flame was very similar to his will-o'-the-wisp. It was burning, but it gave Cooper a cold feeling like a will-o'-the-wisp. The golden flame became more and more vigorous, and a huge phoenix spread its dazzling wings on the top of the mountain, and the phoenix was spraying golden flames. Everyone's sight was focused on the top of the mountain by the bright fire phoenix. At this time, everyone noticed that there was no more smoke coming out of the crater, and the volcano was calm. It seemed that the appearance of the phoenix changed this volcanic island. Rudolph's perspective was so high that he was looking in the same direction as the golden phoenix. The golden phoenix raised its head to look at the phoenix constellation in the starry sky, and Rudolph also looked at the phoenix constellation. A faint phoenix cry suddenly sounded, lingering on the volcanic island. The phoenix on Rudolph's head is calling to the starry sky, calling for the unique star power of Phoenix. From the Phoenix star field, an extremely violent star power descended and rushed straight to Rudolph's head. The star power of most constellations is dark blue, but the star power of Phoenix is bright gold. The golden star power is in the shape of a fire column, and its diameter is exactly the same as the Phoenix hexagram under Rudolph's feet, and it instantly engulfed Rudolph. The golden phoenix that emerged from the depths of Rudolph's soul happily coiled around the star power fire column, and the flames on the fire column made her love it even more. After the golden star power fire column descended, Rudolph's hair, flesh, eyebrows, and even chin melted instantly, and a golden skull appeared. Seeing this skull, Cooper thought Rudolph had suddenly become a mutant zombie. The power of the apostle belonging to the level 5 zombie, with the help of the star power of Phoenix, completely transformed Rudolph. The golden skull did not last long. A more intense golden fire burned on the bones. In the flames, the skull exploded, and Rudolph's head disappeared completely. A handful of vigorous flames were on his neck, and a phoenix was looming in the flames. Rudolph's soul no longer had a shape, only a ball of flame. Soul flame spiritualization. This is the most extreme transformation of the soul, which can make the soul become a flame. The flame is not extinguished, and the soul is immortal. After the soul flame spiritualization is over, Rudolph still needs to transform his body. The star power fire column ignited the entire Phoenix hexagram, causing the star stone powder and the remaining 2 relics to burn with golden Phoenix fire. The level 5 relic Night Spear could not resist the Phoenix golden fire, and the gun body began to burn. The Night Spear seemed unwilling to accept his fate of being burned to ashes. He suddenly jumped up, and the flames sprayed from the back of the gun barrel, stabbing at Rudolph. The powerful Night Spear pierced into Rudolph's body fiercely, smashing Rudolph's body into the air. With his feet off the ground, Rudolph flew backwards, and behind him was the boiling magma pool. The knight's spear could not hold out for long in the phoenix golden fire, and completely melted and disappeared into Rudolph's body. The knight's spear seemed to turn into a fiery red metal liquid and was absorbed by Rudolph. He suddenly felt a strange force appear in his body, and this force traveled in every cell. In an instant, Rudolph felt full of strength in his body. This is the ability of the knight, this is the knight's ultimate strength. Rudolph's body reached its best state at this moment. He even thought that his physical strength was not weaker than that of a level 5 knight. Every cell is providing ultimate strength, and the ultimate strength is washing Rudolph's body with the phoenix golden fire. The ability of the level 5 knight's spear began to show, guiding the phoenix golden fire to every cell in Rudolph's body and burning every cell. Every pore was spraying golden flames, and the golden phoenix flames wrapped Rudolph and took him to the magma pool below. If it was before, the flesh and blood body could not resist this rolling magma at all. But now, Rudolph felt that this pool of magma didn't seem to be scary. Like a stone falling into a lake, Rudolph's body smashed into the magma. There was a gurgling sound in the magma pool, and a large mass of magma jumped out of the magma pool like a drop of water where Rudolph disappeared, and then fell quickly, leaving a circle of ripples made of thick magma in the original place. The entire volcanic island fell into silence at this moment. Everyone, whether it was Cooper and others who were struggling to resist, or the priests of the 3 churches, stopped their actions. What's wrong? Everyone felt that something was wrong, but no one could tell it in a short time. Noise. It's noise. The noise is gone. Someone shouted, and the others realized that it seemed to be true. Since they set foot on Longboli Volcano Island, they could hear some strange noises. This noise became the background sound between heaven and earth. No one would pay special attention to these background sounds that are easily ignored after getting used to it. Careful identification shows that this background sound seems to come from the inside of the volcano. This active volcano has been moving all the time. Every stone is vibrating slightly under the action of the inside of the volcano, making noise. Now the magma inside the volcano suddenly stagnated, making the entire volcano silent. This is obviously abnormal. How could an active volcano that has been active for hundreds of years suddenly become a dead volcano? This made everyone panic, as if something bad was happening. Cooper, who was at a disadvantage, thought that it would be better if something bad happened. What could be worse than being slowly forced to death by the evil god priest? As if responding to everyone's expectations, the stones under their feet began to bounce, and the friction between the boulders made a tooth-grinding sound. Rumbling sounds came from the inside of the volcano. Even with the thick mountain, it was unable to stop the violence of the volcano. The crater suddenly became unusually bright. It was the volcano erupting. Rudolph, who originally thought he could easily resist the high temperature of the magma, did not choose to resist after entering the magma. Instead, his body slowly melted. Flesh and blood turned into flames. Under the impact of the extreme power, every cell turned into flames. After the soul turned into flames, Rudolph's flesh and blood also began to turn into flames. A golden fireball appeared in the orange-red magma. This fireball was brighter than the magma. Rudolph disappeared in the magma, leaving only a fireball. Weird Star Witch. Author, White Silver Black Iron. Chapter 401. A full column of magma suddenly erupted from the crater, and the red magma rushed straight to the sky, with a thunderous roar in the air. I don't know how long this active volcano has been holding back, but this time the eruption is so violent. In the crater, the magma is clearly erupting upwards, and the golden and bright fireballs in the magma, which Rudolph turned into after melting, are suspended in the magma, motionless, jumping in place like flames, and the magma passes through the fireballs without any resistance. The magma rushed into the thick smoke and fell from the thick smoke, falling around in large and small parabolas. The farthest hit the sea surface, and the sea water was burned by the high-temperature magma into a large ball of water mist, and soon the island was filled with water vapor. Ships were hit by magma. At first, the alchemical reinforcement array could resist for a while, but there was too much magma, and it soon broke through the defense of the ship. The magma fell on the ship, causing the ship to catch fire. The lava that was closer fell on the seashore, adding thickness to the black jagged rocks. The volcanic island slowly became a 1,000-meter-high mountain in the eruptions. The lava would not extinguish after it fell to the ground, leaving a pool of hot and red lava water on the ground, and a dark red outline appeared on the edge of the volcanic island. Closer, large and small lava balls fell to the halfway point of the mountain. Halfway up the mountain, Cooper and his party and the priests used their own methods to resist the lava. Someone on the top of the mountain can take a lava bath, but these people halfway up the mountain can't. Find an anti-parabola to hide. Mackenzie quickly found a few cliffs facing the crater and the sea, and the lava falling from the sky just couldn't hit these places. Fortunately, there were few living people on the Bauhinia, and 5 people were left on Red Beard Island. There were only 15 living people here, so it was easy to hide. As for Cooper's body, I can't care so much now. I hope that the body that was not completely buried by the lava can stand up again in the future. At the priest's place, the Annihilation priest created several large black holes. All the magma that fell into the black hole was swallowed by the black hole. The defense ability of the Annihilation black hole is very strong, and there are few means of attack that can break through the black hole. Other priests in remote locations are miserable. Some of the white demon priests and the trapped priests were accidentally swallowed by the magma, and some accidentally stepped into the magma in a panic, and half of their calves exuded a mixed smell of sulfur and barbecue. In just a few minutes, the entire Longboli Island turned into a sea of burning fire. Every breath was filled with the smell of sulfur. The steaming hot air distorted the vision and turned this place into a hell. After a round of eruptions in the crater, the height of the magma pool did not decrease at all. The magma was boiling more and more, and the rolling magma jumped out in handfuls. In the center of the hot and active magma pool, there is a golden fireball. The fireball is very different from the surrounding orange-red magma in color. The golden fireball is sometimes large and sometimes small, and the edge jumps like a flame. Rudolph himself completely disappeared between heaven and earth. He was not outside the crater, nor in the magma. His soul turned into flames, his body turned into flames, and he completely completed the flame spirit transformation from the inside out. There is only one step left to complete the Phoenix constellation secret, just one small step. After the eruption, the crater finally couldn't bear the weight and began to collapse little by little. The cliff collapsed piece by piece until the stone with the Phoenix hexagram drawn on it also collapsed. The black stone fell, and on that stone, the Phoenix hexagram composed of starstone powder was burning, and the last relic, the level 5 white magic scepter, was also burning. That was the flame left when the Phoenix star power like a pillar of fire just landed. When the rock fell into the magma pool with the hexagram and the scepter, the rock melted and became part of the magma. The Phoenix hexagram suddenly expanded and covered the entire magma pool. A golden hexagram appeared on the dark red magma pool. The level 5 white magic staff was also melted by the Phoenix golden fire and disappeared in the magma, but the entire magma pool was instantly lit up, and the orange-red magma was shrouded in white light. When the white magic staff melted, Rudolph gained the power of the last relic. The new life was like the sun rising slowly from the horizon. The Phoenix, also known as the Sunbird, was not enough to have flame spiritualization, but also needed the vitality of the sun. Every death was like sunset, and every rebirth was like sunrise. The energy of the sun fire surged towards the golden fireball. The center of the magma pool slowly bulged, as if something wanted to come out. The fireball gradually gathered and turned into a golden light ball, just like the legendary phoenix egg, slowly emerging from the magma. Not long after, the light ball was suspended on the magma, and pools of thick magma slid down from the light ball. The first cracking sound was followed by a dense sound like cracking eggshells. A golden phoenix suddenly spread its wings, and the light bead could no longer maintain its shape, turning into a broken shell and flying away. A crisp phoenix cry appeared at the crater. Everyone looked at the crater and saw an extremely beautiful phoenix with brilliant golden feathers and covered by flames. The phoenix spread its wings and stretched its body to welcome its new life. The phoenix cry resounded throughout the Longboli volcanic island. In the phoenix constellation in the sky, the phoenix pattern suddenly lit up and flashed away. The southern phoenix wizard was born. Oops! The white demon priest right raised his hand, and the light bead at the top of the scepter shot out a white beam of light, which went straight to the crater. The level 6 erosion ray went straight to the phoenix, but it was too late. The phoenix was so rare that Wright had a bad premonition the moment he saw the phoenix. He didn't know the secret formula of the southern phoenix constellation, and didn't know that the phoenix wizard would be born here. No wonder the Bauhinia was willing to self-destruct and rush to the coast. No wonder these pirates no longer ran away, because they regarded the phoenix wizard as their last trump card. The erosion ray hit the head of the fire phoenix, and instantly shattered the head of the fire phoenix. The 6th level magic is still very powerful. After the head was shattered, the flames that made up the body could not be maintained, and the entire phoenix dissipated into strands of golden flames. Seeing his own results, Wright's expression was not very relaxed, but more solemn. In a flash, in the magma pool, large handfuls of flames appeared, and another phoenix flew out of the flames. Translucent, golden, with bright and clear feathers, the phoenix rose from the ground. There was a sudden silence between heaven and earth. Wright put down the scepter and finally figured everything out. He always thought that he was against several big pirates, but now it seems that the mastermind behind everything seems to be a wizard. He thought he had taken this group of pirates seriously enough, so he contacted 2 other level 6 priests and vowed to clean up the Sarago Sea before counter-attacking the northern continent, so that the Pantheon would have no worries. Unexpectedly, someone was promoted to the Southern Phoenix Wizard on Longboli Volcanic Island. Phoenix Wizard, one of the top 3 powerful wizards in the Southern Wizards. A few steps in front of Wright, a ball of magma suddenly burst into flames. The flames jumped and shone, and there was a faint sound of the phoenix in the flames. A person was reborn from the fire. Wright's eyelids twitched. No wizard had ever dared to appear so close to him. There was no cover. He didn't need to raise his hand. A thought light bead could emit erosion rays. Hearing this man speak, Wright's face became even uglier. I am Rudolph the Furnace. I have a little reputation in the northern continent. Why don't you take a step back for my sake? I'll let you go and you'll let me go. How about it?